Okay, so last one, I'm just going to finish off with letting our friend Mr. Daniel Andrews finish off and how he's going to obviously do what he does best and put on that pantomime. Obviously does so successfully, and then have a bit of a look-see at it.
Point, it's not about free speech. This is hate speech, plain and simple. Plain and simple. It is wrong. It is out of step with the values of fair-minded, decent, mainstream Victorians.
So look at the way he's using the words, right? He's using wrong. Giving himself the authority to define what is right and what is wrong. That's classic control structure, operation right there. He seems very comfortable in it, from what I can tell. And then he's saying he's taking it upon himself to decide what every single individual he's never met before that he stands to, be the voice for, just because he can. Because, when you hold a monopoly on the power of force and how to use it as a mechanism of punishment, you get to do this stuff. So he's letting you know, he's your God and he's telling you what you think. And if you're decent, you need to agree with me, fair-minded, like the way he's using the language, right? So you want to be part of this, because you want to be part of the safe majority. That's the way human beings are oriented, to want to be safe. And they, just like in a herd of cattle or buffalo or, gazelle or whatever, if you're in the middle, you're less likely to get picked off from the outside, by the predator. So that instinct to be in the center, that's what mainstream means, is for your protection, right? So he's using those instinctual things we have to want to meet our needs for safety as a way to control you into agreeing with what he's got to say. Otherwise, you won't get your needs for acceptance, belonging, and, like safety, a bunch of other needs, that won't be met. So that's the message, the very clever messaging that he's using here as to how to get you to comply and be obedient to the way he wants you to think and see the world, right? Very clever tactics. These are, the psychologists are going out of their way to pick specific language that triggers that kind of response in people.
It is on the fringe, but enough about those.
So now he's calling him on the fringe and those people. Now we are talking about the drag queen story time, the objection to that, right? That's what we're talking about here. And that's what he's come out to really depict in a way that just makes you the lowest of lowest form of human being if you actually want to stand in defense and protect your child's vulnerability, and its need to grow healthily and feel safe and, protected. If you want to do that for your child, then you're on the fringe, right? That's pretty much what he's saying. And you're one of those people. You've been reduced to an object that can be dehumanized and that deserves punishment. And guess what? They've got the power to do it to you.
People, let's send the clearest message, Speaker, that equality is not negotiable. And
so again, equality, just he defining what it means, your need for choice for yourself. Does that count as equality, or is it no, you need to accept what we're forcing down your throat, and then that's equality? So these are all the questions, again, that I started in the earlier ones that I'm going over, that he's repeating. So why does he repeat it? There's got to be a reason for that, because he said it earlier and he's doing it again. So it's like making a summary. It's like in a fake court case. You lead with your opener, you give a bunch of evidence, and then you close with the same thing you led with to prove that this is correct, right? So that's what he's doing here.
Despite the carry-on and the shameful behaviour of a small few, this government and this community remains committed to every single Victorian, no matter who they are or who they love.
So did you hear that? Did you hear that every single Victorian is included in that? Or did he say there's certain people that all of a sudden don't belong to these people who we call Victorians now? Because they do what? They stand in defense of their moral principle. Now, if you're one of those, you don't belong to Victoria. You're not accepted. So this is social isolation. It's the use of social isolation to gain compliance. Now, if you can explain to me how that's not violence, I look forward to hearing it. And this is open, promotion of the enjoyment of violence against other people who are seen and depicted and characterized as being wrongdoers. There's something defective about them. That's what's being set up here as to how, the entire population views one another. This is all divide and conquer, guys. And these people, that's what political power is for. You are seeing it, witnessing it right here. That's its intended purpose, is to divide and conquer, to get you to see one another as enemies, as competitors, because people are wanting to take things, and the government will be there to back you. These criminals who are meant to be servants of the public, not dominators of the public, are there to back those ones who agree with them. And if you want to feel safe, then you just jump in and agree with them. So I want to finish on this video that I really like, and it sort of depicts how the true nature of government is supposed to be and the true nature of the media. And I think that's a really good way to finish. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so this is a really short video, but it's very powerful in my opinion anyway. It says it very shortly and succinctly about the true nature of public service, how it's supposed to work, and the inversion of reality of how intrusive these people have become. It's because we don't understand the true nature of what service means and how it is to be in service and what service is supposed to look like. We're so used to being told what to do and being punished for not doing it that we can't even conceive what he's about to say. So here's just a little quick, I don't know, I think it's about 30 seconds worth.
They're supposed to work is the government should know virtually nothing about us because we're private citizens. We're supposed to know everything about the government because they're public servants. But everything is backward right now. And also look at the media. The media is supposed to be giving us the facts, and we should be formulating our opinions based on that information. Instead, the media gives us their opinions, and we're supposed to decipher whether that's a fact or not.
I think that's really succinctly put, guys, as to the true nature of how we get an alternative reality delivered to us. And then anyone who can see through that reality is deemed as being socially retarded, right? There's something seriously the matter with them. Because as soon as you own the means of like information dissemination, then you have plausible deniability up your sleeve. And that's all criminal systems need. If they want to run a deceptive system, they always have plausible deniability because they control the information and how it's disseminated. It's really plain and simple. And until people start taking responsibility for learning what's truly there in reality for them to discover, even if it goes against their beliefs, and that's the biggest, hardest work there is, because your ego attaches to the work you've put in to date. And getting it to accept that it's actually been working against you is the biggest battle. That's the shadow work. And until that courage shows up to actually be in service of the truth, no matter how painful it is, this is what's going to hold humanity back. And so that's what these videos are there to do, right? They are offerings to see where your level of willingness is. Do you want to remain a knowledge vampire that just likes sucking in knowledge as long as you believe it's against someone else, that's talking about someone who's not you? Then we're still going to stay stuck, because knowledge has no power unless it's acted upon. So once you get the knowledge, then you need to have it requires you to have the courage to actually use it to be inner reflective and introspective and see how some of these things that you're seeing here might apply to you and what you're willing to do about it. So that's what's on offer, you guys. And hopefully that's the end of this series.